Silver hair, a ragged shirt and baggy pants, the old soft shoes. He jumped so high, jumped so high, then he'd lightly touch down.
I was always a fan. I grew up in Texas. I remember hearing Viva Terralinga on the radio for the first time in 1974 and connected to it. So I was a fan first and foremost. And then the opportunity to work with him in the early 2000s was sort of a dream come true for me, and it developed a relationship. It's music that I like. It's music that I was a part of. So it was very easy for me to, and he had also written an autobiography at that point. So it just seemed like it's something that needed to be done. Jerry Jeff has a reputation that precedes himself. And the keen insight at the obvious from investors and fans was, why do you have him falling into the drum set? Do you have him passing out on stage? Do you have all these wild stories? What really was important to me was the evolution of the record industry and the arc of his career. In 1984, he recorded his last album for a major label after wild success for the previous 10 years on MCA. And the industry was changing, and he had to reinvent himself, and unwittingly created the first independent label. I mean, they went and got all their publishing back, started their own label, and became the first example of that, which is obviously very important to today. That was the interesting part of it to me. The other part was, it's really a love story. This industry has a way of wrecking relationships. And it's a lot about how this couple, fought through that, stayed together, created a label, reinvented themselves, and had a fabulous career without a major label.
You let go, laugh, you let go, laugh.
I think he's one of the calmest, coolest, sweetest cats on the planet. It's just another planet. Okay, so we'll leave that at that. Obviously his big claim to fame in the beginning is Mr. Bojangles. He authored Bojangles, probably didn't have to work another day in his life. Was covered by nearly 200 other artists, from Sammy Davis to, I think Nitty Gritty Dirt Band made a hit out of it. Jerry Jeff has always just wanted to be a songwriter, a singer-songwriter. The trappings of the success, I think, here's a good example. Bruce Robeson in an interview off camera told me, if it wasn't for Susan, Jerry Jeff would still be playing for tips in a bus station. I told Jerry Jeff that, and he goes, yeah, it's true, but I'd be fine with that. So that's him. He's not about the charts or stardom. It's about the song to him.
You let go, laugh, you let go, laugh. Shook back his
I don't think we'll ever see it again, which is another reason I think this film is so important. It was a time where creative freedom was nurtured, was actually promoted. FM radio was, playing whatever they wanted to play. And the whole artist, A&R side, the research side of the labels was what drove the labels. It was creativity, not packaging. And, basically what Jerry Jeff did turned into Urban Cowboy. He had Mechanical Bulls and discos in Philadelphia. And he was still living the real thing. So, yeah, it'll never happen again. Artists having to do everything themselves today is essentially what Jerry Jeff did. He had to go do it himself. Now, if you're talking the high end of the label industry, which is very small, that's all packaged. The label, there's a scene in the film where Jerry Jeff, Viva Terralinga is his first and only gold album, 1974. That was huge back then. That was, these guys came in from LA going, what the hell's going on in Texas? That's nothing today. You got to be triple platinum to even matter. So at one end, it's all packaged, which is the antithesis of what Jerry Jeff's all about. At the other end, I think Jerry Jeff set a good example for how to control everything.
You let go, laugh, you let go, laugh. Shook back
Even Terralinga is still one of my favorite albums of all time. It's a live album. Definitely recommend that. His last album, which is 2010, which is digital only, Moonchild, is wonderful. You know, songs like LA Freeway, Hill Country Rain, these are songs that are, you know, part of, I guess, a part of our, you know, musical heritage that even if you weren't familiar with him, I bet you would go, I've heard that somewhere. I've heard that song. So, yeah, and again, I think that's reflective of what geniuses, unwittingly they were in the mid-'80s when they said, we'll do this on our own. They went out and found out who their fans were, found a way to connect with them, to deal with them. I mean, we're talking about, you know, just beginning of databases, you know, where they could collect names and then, you know, put tank cards on tables at shows and, you know, send out newsletters. He's fine with that. He just wants his people, there's a lot of them out there, to give them what they want. I think he could care less. You know, he's good friends with Garth Brooks. You know, Garth's coming back with the mega tour and all that. To him, it's fine, but it's not, you know, something he aspires to.
You let go, laugh, you let go, laugh. Shook back his clothes.
I've had a couple people that I screened the film to that said, it's really great to see a story of a roots rocker who isn't suicidal or you know, in an insane asylum or a heroin addict. It's great to see a story that's you know, positive. Well, I think what I'm most proud about is the fact that I think we made a film that certainly is being enjoyed by Jerry Jeff fans. However, because of what I said earlier about some of the underlying themes and the arc of the industry and the historical aspects of the business, it is relevant to people who are not just Jerry Jeff fans, but who are music fans. So I'm proud of that. I think we potentially have a film that could expand the market. And in answer to your question, that's what my goal is, to try to expand the Jerry Jeff market.
Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles.